In a dusty little town in Texas, where the summers burned hot and the nights were quiet, lived a boy named Ethan Cole. He and his mom, Linda, lived in a trailer on the edge of town. No father, no savings, just survival. Every morning, Ethan walked to school in torn sneakers, passing by shiny cars and clean lawns, wishing, just once, life could feel easy. His mom worked double shifts at the diner. Her hands always smelled like coffee and dish soap. But every night before bed, she'd pat his head and whisper, "Baby, you keep your head up. You're going to make it out of here someday." Ethan would smile, pretending to believe her, but deep inside, he doubted himself. He wasn't the smartest kid, or the fastest, but he had heart. At school, kids laughed at his old clothes. Some called him trailer trash. He'd just stare out the window and dream of something bigger than this town, bigger than the trailer, bigger than the laughter. One day, his teacher, Mr. Reynolds, said, "Ethan, you've got something most kids don't. You don't quit. Hold on to that." That night, Ethan couldn't sleep. He looked at his mom folding laundry under the dim light, and he made himself a promise. One day, I'll give her the life she deserves. But promises don't feed you. The fridge was empty more than it was full. Bills stacked higher than hope. And the road out of town looked too long, too far, and too cruel. Still, Ethan kept dreaming. Because sometimes, dreams are the only thing the poor can afford. After high school, Ethan got a small scholarship to a community college in Dallas. His mom cried when he left. He packed one suitcase, mostly secondhand clothes, and an old photo of the two of them. College life hit him hard. Everyone seemed richer, louder, more confident. He worked nights at a gas station to pay for food, slept in his car more than in his dorm. There were days he thought of quitting, nights when he stared at the ceiling, thinking, greater than, maybe they were right, maybe I'll never make it. But then he'd hear his mom's voice in his head. "Keep your head up, baby." So he pushed harder. He took every part-time job he could find, mopping floors, unloading trucks, even washing dishes at a restaurant. And through every shift, he kept whispering, one day. Then one night, while working late, he saw an ad on the store's old TV. Tech, Innovation Challenge, build something that changes lives. He didn't know much about technology, but he knew about struggle. He thought, what if I could build something that helps people like Mom? So he spent nights learning coding on free YouTube videos, days working shifts, and weekends building his first project, a simple app that connected single parents with part-time job options nearby. He failed, then failed again and again, until failure became his teacher. And after 2 years of non-stop effort, his idea finally worked. He entered the same competition again, and this time, he won. The prize? A mentorship, a startup fund, and a chance to change everything. 10 years later, Ethan Cole stood on the stage of Silicon Valley's Tech Expo in a black suit, the same boy who once had nothing. Behind him glowed the logo of his company, Rise Up, a platform helping millions of low-income families find flexible jobs. The crowd cheered. The media called him the boy from the trailer who built an empire. But as the applause faded, Ethan looked down at the front row and saw his mum sitting there, tears streaming down her cheeks. He smiled and said into the mic, "Greater than, I wasn't supposed to be here. People said I'd never make it out of that town. But you see, dreams don't care where you're from, only how hard you fight for them." After the ceremony, he walked outside, looked at the sunset, and whispered to himself, "Mum was right. You keep your head up, and the world can't hold you down." Later, Ethan went back to his hometown. He donated computers to the same school that once called him trailer trash. He set up scholarships for kids who had nothing, just like him. And on the door of his old trailer, he left a small sign that read, "Greater than from dirt roads to dreams. Less than